And our warm-up is not for time, it's just for counts. We'll do a wiggling around before we start it. So get yourself situated, maybe get your music playing, find yourself standing, and we'll start by doing our ponytails. By some shoulder circles. Let's shrug our shoulders up to our ears and drop them down our back. Just getting used to moving around, letting people catch up to where we are. And we'll interlace our fingers, pressing our palms away from us, really separating our shoulder blades behind our back. And then we'll plug our shoulders into their position. So it's kind of pushing our shoulder blades back together behind us, pushing our palms forward, pushing our shoulders back and forth with this like kind of wiggly motion here, upright. I know. Ugh. And then leaving that, we'll come to our squat stance. Let's do 6 air squats at a warm-up pace, whatever that is for you. Oh, I cracked my ankles and my knees. Good morning. And then our first programmed movement is 20 in and out hops. So were we in the gym together, I would have us all put down a plate and step on it. And then we would step off the plate and onto the plate 20 times. We can be on an imaginary plate, or we can do these as little individual steps. But let's go for 20 bounces in place, on and off our plate. Yes. And our next movement is a scap push-up. So that little shoulder warm-up we were doing earlier was to get us thinking about this. A scap push-up, our elbows stay nice and straight, and we're just pushing our shoulders up and back and then down. So thinking about separating our shoulder blades across our back and then pushing them together. We're going for 10 scap push-ups, just finding that range of motion across our back. These can be on your knees or on a coffee table, whatever works for your plank or push-up position. Going for 10 scap push-ups. After that, we'll come back up to upright for our final movement of the warm-up, which is walking lunges. 12 of them, that's 6 per leg. Taking a step, dropping that knee down. These can, of course, always be in place, stepping back or forwards. That's better for your body. Nice lunges, looking good. Cool, that's what we're doing. 2 more times through. So our first step is our 20 in and out hops. Get on it. 20 hops, 10 scap push-ups, 12 walking lunges. Nice. 10 scap push-ups and then 12 walking lunges. Yes. We're going 3 times through total. So get those 12 walking lunges in. And then we got 1 more round for full warming up. of 20 in and out hops, 10 scap push-ups, 12 walking lunges. Nice. 20 hops, 12 push-ups, 10 push-ups, 12 lunges. Yes. 12 lunges, my friends. Woot. So I copy pasted the kind of complicated looking warm up in the chat. We'll talk through it all because we got 2 minutes of rest in the middle, which is maybe not enough to learn new things. But then we'll only need to focus on the first half to begin with, and then after our rest, the second half. This is programmed as single arm. So we'll do a complex on one side and then on the other, and then a little cardio. Repeat that whole thing as many times as possible for 9 minutes. If your weighted item is such that you need both hands, we'll just do it twice with 2 hands. So we'll talk through those options. And then our cardio option today is programmed as a jump rope. So we'll need a weighted item and a jump rope if you have those things. If not, no worries, lots of other options. Let's learn what we're doing. Our complex is a devil's press, 2 snatches, and 3 overhead squats, which is gonna be like a fun builder with some overhead action. So step 1 is a devil's press. A single arm devil's press, we normally just let the item stay on the ground. We're not balancing our hands on it like a traditional devil's press. Devil's press is a burpee 2 overhead. So we'll come down to our belly, come back to standing, take our item with one hand and bring it all the way up overhead. I've seen most of us do these double presses. We can step back and step forward. You can get a little swing action back with this item to help hike it up overhead. Let's try 2 devil's press per side. I know, so much fitness. Or if you've got a double-handed item, just 3 of a double-handed press. Yes, yes. So much fitness. Looking great, friends. So in the workout, we only have to do 1 devil's press at a time. We get our item up overhead. Then we're gonna bring it back down to the ground for our 2 snatches. Snatches are ground to overhead. So we're taking the item from the ground, pulling it all the way up overhead. I like that zip in the coat analogy. So we're thinking about keeping our fist really close to our body as we go, getting it all the way up overhead. I'm not gonna break it down more than that today. Let's try 2 snatches per side. Yes. Cool. So we do our devil's press. We get our item up overhead. We bring it back down, do 2 snatches. So it'll feel kind of like 3. And then we're gonna leave our item up overhead and do 3 overhead squats. So keeping our elbow locked out, the item punched up right towards the ceiling. Should you be in a world where the ceiling is very close to you, we can certainly do a front rack squat versus an overhead squat. Yeah, I didn't say go ahead, but please try 2 overhead squats per side if you haven't given it a shot. Also, should you be in a place where the full snatch doesn't work for you, we can do a clean if we've got low ceilings too, or shoulder issues. Yeah. I'm excited for this. I think it'll be a fun little trio of movements together. 1 devil's press, 2 snatches, 3 overhead squats. We'll do it all on one side. Then you'll move the weight to the other side, do 1 devil's press, 2 snatches, 3 overhead squats on the other side. Then we'll put our weight down and we're gonna do 40 bounces around. It's programmed as 40 double unders, single unders, or cardio options. To review cardio options, we could do jumping jacks or seal jacks. If you got a stair climber or some actual stairs, you could run up your stairs and back down. We could do butt kickers or high knees, or even those in-outs that we did in our warm-up. 40 bounces around. Let's try 12 bounces, 12 jumps of whatever kind of variation you want to do. Figuring out how that feels. Oh yeah, the imaginary jump rope is always a classic if you want to get used to that bounce feel. Step jacks. Lots of good choices. Great, great, great. And those can be different every round too. Is that a kitty squat? Yes, nice, Juliet. The most dangerous of squats. Okay, so that's everything we're doing in our first 9 minutes. 1 devil's press, 2 snatches, 3 overhead squats on one side, and then that whole shebang on the other, then 40 bounces around, then repeating it until the 9-minute clock is done. Cool? Cool. Then we get 2 minutes to breathe, to sip some water. Then we go to another 9-minute AMRAP. This one is single arm swings, power cleans, and shoulders to overhead. So a single arm swing, we're using our big lever, our hip hinge here to pull the item up overhead, or up to eye height, excuse me. If you've got a kettlebell, we're gonna try to have our thumb head back and then thumbs up. Other items, kind of however you can hold it is great. If you've got the space between your legs, I like the palm down the whole journey. Keeping this away from just a squat action with an arm raise, like really thinking about hinging those hips, opening those hips all the way to center item up. You've already jumped into it, but if you haven't, let's try 3 per arm. I know, just want us to get a feel for this. Squeeze that butt at the top, beautiful. I like to keep a soft bend in my arm that's in action, helps keep the center of gravity close to the weight and prevents me from using my big biceps to lift that weight. Beautiful. So we'll do 1 single arm swing. Then we have 1 power clean. So we finish our single arm swing down here. We're gonna take our item and bring it up to our shoulders. So you can do this in between your legs or outside your legs. Either is fine by me. Opening our hips all the way, catching the item in a quarter squat, power clean. Let's try 2 power cleans per side. Yes. Our cleans officially from the ground, but depending on the shape of your body and the item, totally fine to just have it from below the knee height, wherever that is, if getting it all the way to the ground is collapsing. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got 1 single arm swing, 2 power cleans, and then we have 3 shoulder to overhead. Shoulder to overhead however you want. If you really want to strict press it, you can. We can do a little dip and drive for a push press. Or we could do a dip, drive, and catch under for a push jerk. All of those are options. Let's try 2 shoulder to overhead per side. And again, if there's not space in your land, looks like there's space in all your lands, but if you're watching me on YouTube and you can't get that shoulder to overhead, we could do a split squat here. So whatever side the weight is on, we'll just do, yeah, I know it's gonna be awful. Or just a regular front squat, again, like we did in the first couplet. Just trying to mix it up a little bit. Beautiful. Okay, single arm swing, 2 power cleans, 3 shoulder to overhead, and then 40 cardio options again. So back to our jumping of our rope, our dot hops. We could do skaters, Charlestons. Okay, so I'm not gonna make you practice that because we already did our bouncing arounds. I think that all makes sense. Any final questions? Cool. We'll start with our first set, which is a devil's press, 2 snatches, 3 overhead squats. Really enjoying that ground to overhead journey today. Get your music pumping. Get your body ready. I'm gonna start the clock, right? In 10 seconds, we're doing it. 1 devil's press, 2 snatches, 3 overhead squats. In 3, 2, 1. 1 devil's press, 2 snatches, and then 3 overhead squats. Repeat it on the opposite side. One devil's press, 2 snatches, 3 overhead squats on each side, and then bounce around for 40. Yes, looking great. Woo! Beautiful. Get those 40 cardio options in. Then we've got 1 devil's press, 2 snatches, and 3 overhead squats. Again and again and again. Woo. Yes, so good, friends. We're 3 minutes in. That's a third of the way through. 6 minutes left to go. Nice work. Okay. Yes. You've got it memorized by now. It's a devil's press, 2 snatches, 3 overhead squats, bouncing around for 40 reps. So good, friends. We're over halfway through. Whew. Nice. Three minutes left, 2/3 of the way through. Keep moving, you got it. Whew. Nice work, friends. "90 seconds left to move. End is in sight, you got it. Woo! More seconds, couple more bounces, couple more overhead actions. You got it. 15 seconds. We got 90 seconds left of our rest period, and then one more 9-minute, as many rounds as possible. To review, our upcoming one is ass single arm swing, followed by 2 power cleans, followed by 3 shoulder to overheads. So we get to stay off the ground this time. Oh joy. 1 single arm swing, 2 power cleans, 3 shoulder to overhead, or replacing those shoulder to overhead with a front rack squat or a split squat if you're feeling spicy. I know. And then of course, 40 bounces around. Oh. Those rounds went faster than I thought they would. There's a lot to do. Good work. 30 more seconds. Woot. Single arm swings, power cleans, and shoulder to overhead. Coming your way. In 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We've got 1 single swing, 2 power cleans, 3 shoulder to overhead. So easy peasy. So many rounds to come. Oops. Yes. So good. 1 single arm swing, 2 power cleans, 3 shoulder to overhead on both sides. Looking great. We're 3 minutes down, 6 minutes left to go. Third of the way through. Whew. and it's down. So good, buds. Keep pushing. Six minutes in, only 3 minutes left to go. 2/3 of the way through, pals. So good. Two more minutes. Whew. 60 seconds, last minute of work, my friends. Seconds. So close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You did it! Bravo! Lots of cardio this morning. Good work. Maybe a little bit like gentle wander around to let our heart rate come back. Slow down our breathing a little bit. Our recommended mobility of the day is child's pose, which might feel pretty great. Child's pose, we're on our shins, our big toes touch, our knees open nice and wide. We walk our chest forward and try to collapse into the ground. Have a lovely day, those of you who need to skip away. Otherwise, we can hang out here for about a minute, feeling the back of our rib cage expand as we get our nice slow inhales and exhales on. Option to actively push through the palms of our hands to send our hips closer to our heels behind us, or to just let gravity sink our chest towards the ground a little bit farther. If child's pose is the worst in your body, option to flip onto your back and hug your knees into your chest like a cannonball. Might feel better for joint issues. Okay, athletes. Good morning. Have a lovely day. So nice to see you all. Let me know your questions or thoughts.